ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to HCS Pro Talk, your weekly Halo esports podcast, coming to you live from the Pro Talk studios in now cold, but what wasn't cold yesterday, but it's now cold again, Minnesota.
Was it actually nice out yesterday?
Yeah, it was like 40s.
Oh.
Like, to put things into reference here, people, well, actually, let's do this first. This is episode 114 for the week of February 16th, 2020. My name is Josh, a.k.a. JK Fire, and this week I'm joined by the man who is not only Will, a.k.a. I am Mr. Mayhem, but it's also Will's motherfucking birthday!
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Will, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. Woke up, got ready, and I'm here. That's pretty much my day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We had Linnea's first birthday pictures today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she doesn't turn one for another week, but, I mean, we had like early photos done.
Okay.
So there's that.
You did that earlier today?
Yeah. Like literally we just finished at 11.
Did you have like a photo shoot somewhere or was it here?
No, not here. It was at a family friend's place that we've always done.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. She's the same person that did the photos for Christmas with Santa and whatnot, all that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you get me.
I got you.
Yo, what's up, Louis V Titan? Welcome everyone. Welcome all to the live show. Thank you all for being here. Josh, I see you as well. What's going on? Anybody who's tuning in, welcome to the stream. For those who don't know, we record the show live every week on Sundays at noon Central. And if you're not able to catch this live, don't worry about it. It's perfectly fine because we also release the VOD and the audio recording on the same day later on Sunday. So later today. It'll be on all your podcast services. Will's going to talk about them when he plugs the show. And then it's going to be on the YouTube as well, which you're also going to plug at the end of the show. So you know what?
Yeah.
That's
There we go.
There you go. But it's your birthday.
It is.
It is. So I have something for you.
You told me before the show you had a surprise.
I did.
I don't like surprises. I don't like to be put on the spot.
It's okay. I thought this would be, I thought what better than to, just do it on the show.
Okay.
So we're going to do it on the show.
All right.
So before we get into the whole actual episode of the program here, I have a surprise for Will.
Oh, gosh.
Give me 1 second here. I have to leave the room to get it.
Oh, no.
I didn't want to bring it in the room.
Well, because y'all would have saw it before.
Yeah. It would have ruined the surprise.
All right, so now I get to sit here awkwardly while you walk.
Do, but I get to walk awkwardly across the camera.
All right.
So it's like it's a win-win. You know what I mean?
For those in the chat saying happy birthday, thank you very much. I appreciate it. There goes Josh. Yeah, it's I'm 28, turned 28 today. Got a lot of plans, a lot of running around today. So now we wait for Josh to return. Way to make it awkward, Josh. Way to make it awkward.
I'm trying.
All right.
You can't.
Oh, I can't look.
Yeah, you can't look because I want you to look at the. Yeah. All right, we're good.
Oh, it's just behind your back.
It's fine.
Okay,
it's fine.
It's all fine.
It's fine. We got it. So, all right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So you asked about it earlier. I said they didn't come in yet, but they didn't come in.
They did.
We have HCS Pro Talk
We got
hats.
dad hats.
We got dad hats. They're HCS Pro Talk hats. And there you go.
With
It has
the
your
name
name
on
on
the
the back.
Look
Yeah.
Look
Yeah. Look at that.
Not bad.
Not bad.
I like it.
The logo
That's
is
awesome.
small. So again, this was just a test, to see how they look.
Yeah.
Right. And I now know what I need to do to make it bigger if we decide to make hats officially.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess this could be like foreshadowing for what could come in an HCS Pro Talk store.
If there was one.
Wink, wink.
Are you setting up one?
Well, in the future, obviously, we'll do
Oh,
one.
look at that.
It looks slick. Look at you. Look at you.
Look at us.
Hey, look at us. Okay, we're not going to do that meme. We're definitely not going to do that meme. Hey, Will, do you want to ask me a question?
Yeah, what do we got on the show?
On this week's
Moving
actual
forward.
episode of HCS Pro Talk, we have YouTube makes some moves. The competitive Halo community tournaments continue to impress. Big news for Talks. Some actual roster mania.
Yeah.
We haven't had legitimate roster mania in a while. This is real roster mania. the finale of the HCS Pro Talk Community All-Star Bracket, or HPTCASB for short. And guess what? I have the results in the manila envelope for who our winner is. For those who don't remember or those who don't know, we did a community bracket for the HCS All-Star for the past 5 years. So HCS did their own. We did the HCS Pro Talk Community All-Star Bracket.
Yes.
Or HPTCASB for short. Yeah. And we had listeners turn in their own brackets for how they think things would shape up. We have the winner in this envelope. The winner will receive a t-shirt and a backpack. So stay tuned for who's going to win that one. We also have our Dreamhack Anaheim preview because that's next weekend. Dreamhack Anaheim is next weekend. We got to talk about it. We have the Reflection Corner makes its return for the 4th week in a row. This time with some hard hitters. And then we have Halo CE PC flighting has officially begun. So yes, that's like a news story. I included it here, but it's kind of big. So we're going to talk about it briefly later on within the show. But before we get into any of that, and before we get into the actual first segment of the show, we have some housekeeping.
All right.
You like that?
Yep.
You like that little soundbite that I did on the spot? First and foremost, like we said, happy birthday to you, Will.
Thank you.
You're incredible. We wouldn't be what we are today if you weren't born. So thanks for being born, Will.
Sure.
And then the last piece of housekeeping that we have, community playdates officially are making their return this Friday, the 21st, from 7 to 10 p.m. Central Time. So, when is it? Every Friday, 7 to 10 p.m. Central. What is it? Well, we play Halo with you. That's what we do. We play Halo with you. That's like the whole point. And speaking of playdates, Josh asks, are playdates on PC as well? Great question. At this current point in time, no. Once all of MCC is out on PC, which will probably mean once Infinite is out, and it'll be on PC, obviously, we might make the switch then to PC. The other thing I'm waiting for is whether or not they're going to have Infinite have crossplay between Xbox Series X, Xbox One as well, because it's on all the family of Xbox devices, and PC. Because if it has crossplay, then absolutely we're playing on PC. I mean, because that's just where I'm going to be playing. But it'll be crossplay, so it doesn't matter. But we don't know yet. We just don't know yet. So as of right now, until all of MCC is out on PC, we're going to be playing on Xbox. Because usually when people wanted MCC in the first place, you had to get an Xbox. So usually people have Xboxes at this point. So that's that. And I don't know about you, but fuck Reach. So I don't want to strictly just play Reach. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. A great question. But where is it going to be? It's going to be streamed at this actual same channel. So don't go anywhere, I guess you could say. Just stay here for all 7 days of the week. Just literally don't tab out of this. Just keep it on your screen the whole time, you know? No. Twitch.tv/HCS Pro Talk is going to be here. And then how do you join? Great question again. You can join by adding myself, JK Fire Insomniac. That's my gamer tag on Xbox Live. You can also add Mr. Mayhem, and then your tag at the end is 5671. So for those who don't know as well, kind of hitting this here, Xbox Live is doing the same thing that Blizzard had previously done, where you can basically have any gamer tag that you want, but if there's a person that has the same name as you, there will be a number at the end of the tag. So send a friend request to both myself and Will, and both our gamer tags information will be in the show notes. So check that out as well. And then that's how you're going to receive an invite, right? C is going to drop by the end of February and March. Calling it right now. Josh says that's a flighting is going on right now.
Couple weeks.
I can see end of March. Definitely not the end of this month. I can see end of March. Who knows? But yeah. And then for VODs will be uploaded to YouTube after the play date has concluded. So if you just want to see all the shenanigans that take place during it. And then also we're going to be using Xbox Live Party Chat for voice instead of Discord because not everybody uses Discord. And since you're already on Xbox, it might just be easier to do the party system there. That's that. That's all the housekeeping that I got. Hey, Will.
Yeah.
You know what it's time for?
What do you got?
COD, another Games Watch. So, CDL London took place.
Yep.
Okay. And some people watched a good amount. Some people didn't. Some people had stream issues. Some people didn't. Right? But either way, the event took place. And there's a London recap by James Matone of CDL. It's on CallOfDutyLeague.com. Here's some information for you. I thought there's some interesting pieces in here. And I quote, bullet points. Will, before I even say this first one, remember what you were talking about at Minnesota? At the launch weekend here in Minnesota?
What specifically are you referring to?
Shotsy.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't doing so well.
He wasn't doing so well.
Well, guess what? At London, first bullet point, Shotsy finds his shot. It was a night and day performance between his time in Minnesota compared to this weekend. His defining moment was the elimination match against the Seattle Surge, where in both hardpoints, he went positive, more kills than deaths, and racked up over 2 full minutes of hill time, scoring on a hardpoint hill. He and Illy are looking much more comfortable on the main stage, which may spell trouble for the Huntsmen and other squads later in the season. The Legion continued to shock. They're the first team to take the Huntsmen the full length of a series this season and have earned the respect after finishing in the top 4 in London. It's safe to say those preseason power rankings are now scrap paper. Obviously, they were bad from the get-go, and here we are now. Surge and Subliners show improvement. Although they failed to make it out of group play, the Surge and Subliners both won a match. Given the collection of talent on both squads, it was only a matter of time until this translated to some CDL points. And then, Purple Pain. Get it, like Purple Rain? If you're a fan of Prince, you'll get that reference. So, both the Los Angeles Guerrillas, fuck you aches, and Toronto Ultra had their trip across the pond cut short by back-to-back losses. Fortunately, the Ultra can bounce back at the next event in Atlanta, while the Guerrillas will seek revenge in front of their home crowd in March. So hey, the two teams that we beat also lost every one of their matches in London. Who would have thought? Challengers Commendation. Okay, here's what happened. At the Call of Duty Challengers London Royal Ravens Open presented by PlayStation 4, the launch weekend champions Team Singularity defended their title with complete domination. This time, their grand finals opponent was Train Hard Esports, a mostly English team featuring former pros Sucre from Spain and French veteran Whalers. Unlike in Minnesota, Singularity didn't need a second best of 5 to win. In fact, they were incredibly efficient, only dropping 1 game en route to back-to-back titles. So they are a team. They're a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. And then here's a really cool, fun stat here. So combat record, 175 seconds. That's the amount of hill time that Envoy had during the Huntsmen's decisive Game 4 on St. Petrograd, which sent them into the finals bracket. 175 seconds. Also, the amount of hill time that the Dallas Empire had against Envoy in that St. Petrograd hardpoint.
So he had just as much as the whole other team.
Yes. What an awesome stat.
So I saw there was an article posted on Twitter, and my favorite comment from the whole from that article was someone who, I don't remember who it was, but they were within the Call of Duty community, posted, Crim6 has fired more shots on Twitter than he did at Scump at London.
Oh my God. What a fucking dig. That's amazing.
So I laughed so hard because
I love it.
Look, Crim6 is well known, obviously.
Yeah.
He's
one of the best players in the world.
He is. I think it's circumstance and his team surrounding him. And as the article talked about before, his players around him are only getting better and more comfortable. So they could become a force to reckon with within the next few events.
Absolutely. I think, and that's the thing too, is that I think every team in the CDL right now has a lot of raw talent. It's just whether or not they're able to get that cohesiveness together and really bring it home for an event, right?
Yeah.
Because right now you have Chicago at that top spot, and that's nothing against Dallas either, because Dallas had a rough time in Minnesota, but they, like, the games, even though they lost to Huntsman in the finals of that tournament in London, the games were very close.
Yes.
So it wasn't just blowout after blowout. There were some very close matches, even if the game score didn't go Like even if the series score didn't show that, right? It was still very close. So
I will say the Huntsmen, even though they won that event, I think they still need to work on their search and destroy.
I can agree with that.
And a lot of the times, like Formal and Scump clutched up for them. Like,
yes,
I think they were carried in their S&D by those two players.
Oh, when Formal goes like,
what wasn't it like 13-3 or something?
It was
like that?
unbelievable. I think you might be spot on that. It was insane. Like we were literally watching it right here.
Yeah,
and almost jaws to the floor, like with how Scump was staying alive, or how bad Paris Legion were playing. It was just, yeah. But either way, looking forward to the next events, though, that's for sure. Okay, so remember when we talked about at the Minnesota event where they announced that the CDL or Activision Blizzard were going into a partnership deal with YouTube, right? So where the Overwatch League and the Call of Duty League are streamed exclusively on YouTube.
Yep.
Okay. And this was like, it was a shock to basically everybody. Nobody saw it coming. It was announced right then and there. So that's that. But we always wondered, what was the monetary value behind this? This had to have been pretty big in order to take them from Twitch, right? Well, we might have that information now. So, sources. YouTube's deal with Activision Blizzard valued at $160 million. This is by Adam Stern of the Esports Observer. And I quote, YouTube's media rights deal with Activision Blizzard Esports is valued at around $160 million USD over 3 years, according to people briefed on the terms of PACT, part of the broader new strategic partnership between Google and the video game company. Google and Activision Blizzard announced the new partnership late last month, just before the start of the Call of Duty League season. Sources said the deal comes in around $160 million total for all of the esports properties involved: Call of Duty, Overwatch, and Hearthstone. The previous deal that Activision Blizzard had for just the Overwatch League was reportedly valued at $90 million over 2 years. Activision Blizzard declined comment. The exact breakdown of how much each property contributes to the total payout from Google is not known, but sources said the majority is toward Overwatch World League, with a lesser but still notable amount going towards CDL, while Hearthstone, which is not a Tier 1 esport, was described as essentially a free throw-in for YouTube. Sources said that the deal includes significant incentive clauses for ad sales and viewership targets, so the money coming to the league and teams could go up markedly. These incentive clauses, described by sources as achievable, are partially why teams and other executives around the league have been happy with the new YouTube deal, even though the base amount going to Overwatch World League is not an increase from the Twitch deal. Okay. So, kind of unfortunate for Hearthstone. The fact it's like, fuck you, here you go. But 160 mil, 3 years.
3 years.
Yep.
So if you split that up evenly between Overwatch League and Call of Duty, that's 40 mil a year.
But clearly Overwatch World League has the
higher value.
Has the lion's share of this by far. According to, now they didn't name any sources in here or anything like that. So you could technically take this all with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah.
But it's out there, so yeah. That's the only figure we have to go based off of right now.
Yeah, it's the only thing that's been put out into the atmosphere. But yeah, that's crazy. 160 million. You figure CDL was selling their franchise spots for 20 million. The league's making some money.
That's true.
And it's crazy that, like, it's the league is obviously putting on all these events and shows. They have their overhead as well, but when you think about it, for Minnesota Rocker, they paid $20 million to get in the league.
Right.
They're then paying their own players. They're paying their own employees.
Right. And we don't know what those salaries are like either.
No.
So
it's huge, but it's a huge investment.
It is. It absolutely is. And that's the thing is that I asked, so I'm not going to name names, but I asked an individual who is close with the Minnesota scene about Gary V specifically.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I respect the man. I respect him. This is a new venture for him, right? And I basically just asked him, do you think he actually cares? Like, do you think he's not just in it for the money? Do you think he actually thinks this is a good investment? Do you think he actually cares about everything that's involved? And the person that I talked to said, absolutely.
there is on Minnesota Rocker's YouTube, there's a keynote speech he gave. So for those who don't know a lot about Gary Vee, he's actually, one of his dreams has been to own the New York Jets.
He is a huge Jets fan. Well, why? I don't know. But I mean, hey, whatever.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
So during that keynote speech, he was like, he talked about how esports is already established, but it's still growing. It's like it's like investing in Facebook after Facebook already started to grow, but wasn't at its height yet.
Yep.
So he thinks that, esports can take off and be huge. If you look at the market, it's about availability to consume content. Now, what's the market right now? You have, I would say, 10 to 25-year-olds who are heavy into their computers, tablets.
Right. If
esports are easily consumed by your everyday tasks, what you're doing walking around, how many games a week from the NFL can you watch on your laptop? Easily, for free. One.
Your local game, right? That's
maybe, if that.
Or if there's two games going on, like on what? You have Fox and then...
Well, they're not even for free on your laptop, right? Like on your computer.
The only thing I'm going to say is you may be able to go to that specific website and watch what's on there.
Sure.
Even if you don't have a cable plan. Because I think you have to be able to get local channels for free, like emergency broadcasts and whatnot. I think you have to have that. But no, either way, one to two max.
1 to 2, where you can consume all of esports on YouTube, Twitch. I don't know if there's anything on Mixer yet, but
Juked.
Yeah, it's everything consolidated there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the esports has this potential when the market ages to just blow up and be a huge thing. So he did talk about, yes, it's an investment. It wasn't one he was like jumping to. The reason he got invested was because he is close with the Wilf family, who owns
the Minnesota Vikings.
And they're the majority owners.
Yes.
So this is him investing his money in something that could work out. Maybe it doesn't. He doesn't know. But from the keynote, he does seem invested in the team, the organization. He was talking about how they're building infrastructure as a team. So things that can help continue grow and continue the brand, not just like he flat out, I think, was it him? Someone said like a lot of these teams that are coming into esports are just in there for the money grab. Like they're in there to get in, get out, just rake in whatever they can.
Well, we saw that with Echo Fox as well. Not Rick Fox. Rick Fox was in it for the people and everything, but the people who came in over him were in it just for the money.
Right. So then he's trying to establish Rocker as this brand that can last.
Yeah.
So that's...
I mean, you saw how much merch we fucking got.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's... It's unbelievable. No, that's really good to hear. I should go back and watch that for sure. And I can only hope that it's sustainable. And when you were explaining, like, he wants it to, like, he sees esports expanding even more and more, as do we, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously. The thing, and you talked about consuming it on your everyday device and whatnot.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you had, I think even Shane was asking in the Halo space, like about a fantasy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like fantasy for Halo and whatnot. Think if you had fantasy for, I mean, they have, like for Dota 2, you have the compendium that you can purchase when the International comes around. And for those who don't know, the International is Dota 2's biggest tournament of the year. They have qualifiers and whatnot to see who comes, so on and so forth. But regardless, there's a compendium that you can purchase, and you basically, I believe they have in there, who do you think is going to win, blah, 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 blah. But if you have like a dedicated app, or maybe if it's just an ESPN's app, right, that we use for fantasy football, where you're able to, because you can open that all the time. You just flip through, you can see stats, you can see, new news stories that pop up for that individual player, for that team. And it's something you can always do to keep up to date on your favorite team or your favorite player.
Yeah.
Right? So I can't wait until hopefully we get to that point. Not just Halo, because we'll talk about Halo later in regards to the grand scheme of all of esports, but it's in esports in general. Like I hope we get to that point. That's what I want. I'm excited. Shall we move on, Will?
Yeah.
Well, then it's time for some competitive news. First up, Europa Halo Double Down announcements. This is by Europa Halo. We have casters. So the tournament is happening, if I'm not mistaken, right now. Right now. So when you're done watching this, make sure you click over to that, watch that tournament, because we're going to talk about the results next week. So there's that. But the casters, Shurzy won, and none other than Dan Gaskin. He's in there. He's a caster. It's going to be great. Production is put on by Prisma TV. So thank you to Prisma. And then there's a giveaway associated as well. This weekend's Double Down special, we're giving away a digital copy of the Master Chief Collection on Xbox. All you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is tune into the grand finals of Sunday's Cup. That's twitch.tv/Europa Halo. Spread the word. We're spreading the word right now. So those who are watching live, make sure you click on over to that stream during the grand finals. Get entered in to win a digital copy of MCC on the Xbox. Next news story. Breaking the Clutch joins Infinite. This is by Breaking the Clutch and Infinite. Infinite puts out a tweet that states, please welcome the content creation team Breaking the Clutch to the Infinite family. They post daily gaming content ranging from news to montages as well as weekly D&D videos. Their YouTube is already home to a catalog of content. Then, Breaking the Clutch put out a tweet that states, the cat is out of the bag. We signed with Infinite for 2020, only fitting considering how amped we are for the Halo Infinite. Expect lots of competitive Halo videos coming this year, and keep your eyes out for Infinite in the HCS tournaments to come. It's going to be a great year. Congratulations, guys. Looking forward to seeing the content. Next up, Microsoft Store exclusive reward. This is by HCS. And I quote, this month's Microsoft Store Halo Community Series tournament starts this Sunday at 1 p.m. local time. Grab your duo and compete in the Halo Reach 2v2 to earn the exclusive Microsoft Store Halo MCC nameplate. So there's an exclusive nameplate. So if you have a Microsoft Store near you, go ahead and show up and compete and well, actually, you probably will just get the nameplate if you compete. So there's that. Next up, Frosty, now Call of Duty Pro. You know him? Yeah, he's on the Florida Mutineers.
You just like saying it that way, huh?
I really do. I really do. I don't know. And if Frosty chimes in, this is by Mosey and Frosty. Mosey. This is Mosey and Frostus. You know? It's Moses and Frosty. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Moses put out a tweet that states, just a warning if you plan on skipping the DreamHack Anaheim stream because of the gray maps, you're only playing yourself. I think we're in store for one of the most competitive events in a long time. There's about 10 different teams I wouldn't be surprised to see in grand finals. Frosty replied with, nah, only 3. If you're going by online performances so far, then you might as well have said there could have been 24 teams potentially winning any of the Halo 3 tournaments. Players are so incredibly talented in the online gaming world. Moses replied with, you're right, online single elim tourneys aren't a good way to judge LAN performance. I just like the composition of some of these rosters, coupled with it being an old game. And Frosty states, some of these rosters are scary, I agree. I don't think most of them will be able to sniff a finals, though. Now, that's coming from the man, two-time world champ in Halo 5. And, yeah, I think his word is definitely something to pay attention to. Because as we're going to talk about our predictions and hopefully your guys' predictions as well for DreamHack Anaheim, I imagine I know who we think's taking number 1. But you know what? That's a conversation for later in the episode. Next news story, Tourney Times and Mitsu Gaming announced their next tournament. This is by Tourney Times. It's called 1v1 Me, bruh. It's a Halo 5 double elimination $300 prize pool tournament taking place on Saturday, February 29th. So check out the link in the Google Doc of the show notes of the show for more information on that and register if you want to. And finally, the last competitive news story of the week that we have right now. Snakebite teases. This is by Snakebite. It's a tweet he put out, and it's a GIF or GIF. Not peanut butter, though. You know? What is it? Is it GIF or is it GIF? I know we talked about this before. Do we know?
Oh, my gosh. You're going to spark another internet debate.
Oh, God. I don't mean to do that. What do you say?
I say GIF.
Okay, GIF it is. So it's a GIF of a contract being signed with the phrase, it's official.
Yeah.
What do you think, Will? Who's it going to be with?
Do you think...
Or what is it in regards to?
Yeah, who knows? Is it... it's so cryptic. You don't know. You can't tell. It could be an org coming in for maybe they're pledging that they'll run with that org for infinite.
Oh, could be.
It could be that they're selling Tox Gaming.
Could be.
It could be that he bought a house. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
What do you think?
Well, Louis V. Titan states it's GIF.
It's.
See, it's funny because I
just
said it's GIF when I'm reading text, so it could be GIF. Yeah. Louis, you're being an asshole. Just tell me what it is. Is it Giphy or Jiffy? Is it peanut butter or is it a picture? What is it?
So
what is it?
So it's all how you want to pronounce the G.
I know.
Right? Is it the soft G or is it?
There's a hard G.
Hard G. Or also, if you take the word GIF and add a T to it, and you would say a gift.
It is a gift.
So take the T away, and you have the GIF, GIF.
You know what? When I see them, they are gifts to me.
Oh,
so
that's very
yes. Matty Rums, something with Tox. Royal One said announcement tomorrow.
There we go.
Well, why the fuck are we recording right now? Man, it's okay. We're going to be talking about it. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. You know, so the replies to the tweet are, hopefully it's with NRG, right?
Yeah.
Or energy, now that I know how to actually say it.
There you go.
Because it's energy, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool seeing them back with Hex again. I think it'd be really cool to see them with energy or like, yeah. You know what? I don't mean this in a negative sense because I don't. I really don't. I don't mean this in a negative sense. You said maybe they're selling Tox.
Mm-hmm.
What if they're selling Tox to energy?
Sure.
Because what I want to see them, and again, I don't mean this in a bad way. I want to see them with one of these top tier organizations for, I'm going to say forever, but what I really mean is a long time, right? Because nothing's forever. The reason why I want to see it for a long time is because I think that with Snakebite, Royal 2, Royal 1, APG and Lethal, if that roster stays the same or whatever, you have all veterans on that squad, right?
Yeah.
With the veterans on that squad, they know what the peak of competitive Halo is, and they also know what the lowest of lows of competitive Halo are. If they're with one of the biggest organizations, one of the top organizations, right, then they can share that experience, and I think it could be huge for bringing bigger orgs into the scene as well. If you have energy coming in or liquid coming back or whatever it seems to be, it doesn't matter to me who it is. If you have these bigger orgs coming back and you have these veterans who've seen the top and have seen the bottom of where it could be, then I think it gives you a better representation of what we could see for Infinite and just Halo esports moving forward, because they're like that. They're at the competitive helm of it. Yeah, they don't work with 343 and whatnot, but I think it could be huge for the scene overall.
So another thing too, if they are actually selling Tox to a bigger organization, what they could be doing is just creating a future for themselves. They're probably not going to be able to play competitive Halo and be at the top for the rest of their lives. Maybe they're looking like they built Tox, right?
They did.
So maybe Snakebite becomes the GM and he brings in the next new talent for Tox, and Royal 2 and APG are members of the organization that now are running the organization.
Right.
And they're bringing in the new talent.
And the other, bouncing off that, great point. Bouncing off that, we didn't see the whole Tox thing coming at all. When the Optic roster, when Optic decided that they're getting out of Halo at that point, or the contractual differences, whatever that conversation was that we don't know the behind the scenes of.
Yeah.
We didn't know where they were going to go. Like, who was going to pick them up? Is anybody going to pick them up? What are they going to do? We're so close to an event, so on and so forth. And then Snakebite comes out and he's like, no, we're doing our own thing now. We're doing it our way. We know what we need to do. Here's Tox Gaming. And we're like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course they were dominant because that's the way they are. It's the way they practice. And But yeah. And then Louis states, it raises the level of money-making orgs in the Halo scene. NRG would be game-changing. Agreed.
So we also just saw a bunch of orgs leave Gears.
We did. NRG being one of them.
Tox had a venture into Gears 5 when it first started.
They did. And the funny thing is, if you remember that, so Tox picked up for that one event, right? That the winningest team that was Optic Gaming.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Then when Tox, because they only did that one event, they came out ahead of time and they're like, hey, we're only sponsoring them for this one event. The players came out, this is only for the one event. Don't get your hopes up, right?
Yep.
NRG picked them up.
Right.
And now they're out.
So what if Tox is now making the jump to expand their brand into Gears 5? I mean, assigning a contract gift could mean so many things, but
so what if they're not being picked up by NRG,
but they're expanding.
They're not selling, but they're expanding. I like that. Because we talked about that previously too.
Yes.
Do we think they have what it takes to step out and do other things? Because we don't know like the inner workings, the behind the scenes of running a top tier competitive org, right? We just don't. We talk to people that are, but we don't. Oh man, that'd be insane. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see until tomorrow.
We're gonna have to wait.
Yep. All right. Shall we go to the next part, Will?
What do you got, man?
Well, first and foremost, that's it for competitive news.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. And now it's time for your upcoming tournaments of the week presented by noobcombo.com. Go to noobcombo.com for all your Halo esports needs. Hey, Maddie, if you're still here, shout out to you. There it is. Friday, February 21st to Sunday, February 23rd. I can't speak.
You're having issues with words today.
You know,
I'm not gonna lie.
I should wear your words are hard shirt.
Maybe next time.
Perfect. Dreamhack Anaheim.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it later in the show. Yeah. But Dreamhack Anaheim, it's going on next week. Saturday, February 22nd, we have Yodesla's Halo Wars 2 3-year anniversary 1v1. There's not a number 1 in there. There's not a number 2 in there. There's numbers 1, 2, and 3 in there.
If you're into Halo Wars, go check it out because Yodesla gets incredibly hyped while he's casting over these matches. It's fun to watch.
Yes.
Go check it out.
Yes. And 3-year anniversary tournament's going to be a blast. Can't wait to see who shows up for that. But that's not the only Halo Wars 2 tournament, as a matter of fact. We also have the HWTC, or Halo Wars Tournament Central, Halo Wars 2 February 3v3. Links to everything will be in the Google Doc of the show notes of the show. If you want to sign up and do all the things, you can do that. And then on Sunday, February 23rd, we have the Springfield Esports Festival, Halo Reach Free-For-All, and 2v2 at Drury University. That is a terrible name for a college. But, you know, what are you going to do?
Drury?
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds like somebody's drunk and trying to say jewelry.
Drury.
Drury.
Okay.
You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm just shitting on the whole university. It's totally on me. And then we also have the Northwest Halo Winter LAN. Again, links to everything. What, Will? What? Jewelry.
Jewelry.
Yeah, you know, it's just a drunk person saying jewelry. That's all it is.
Yep.
It's simple as that. Will, that's it for the upcoming tournaments.
Yep. That's all we got.
The week. You know what's next, though?
I do.
Do you, though? Hey!
Roster Mania! It's going to cut you off right there.
You're like, I want to press the damn button.
It's time for Roster Mania, people. So if you didn't see on Twitter, Lux Gaming has signed a new roster. They said, due to contractual complications, we have decided to part ways with our Halo team per their request for a contract void. Effective immediately, Gilkey, Goofy, Gabriel, and Blaze are no longer associated with Lux Gaming. Stay tuned for a message on our future in Halo. They then came back with another tweet.
They didn't.
RBG fam. That's what am I looking at here?
RBG Esports.
RBG Esports.
They picked him up. They picked up that roster.
So there you go. With Coach Callis. So then Lux replied, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead a tweet. I didn't see that one behind
it's okay.
it. So the new Lux Halo roster we're just bouncing all over the place here today. It's going to be Kratos, Spectre, Denoxide, and Straight Six. So we've seen those players play together before.
Yes.
We'll talk about placings later, but that's the new Lux Gaming roster.
And we actually had roster mania. It was a long time coming.
With people leaving and jumping back in.
Yeah.
So we have a roster recap coming up later for your DreamHack Anaheim rosters that we saw in the qualifiers.
Yes.
Hopefully that translates over to the event itself.
Correct.
All right. And we have some Europa Halo rosters. This is for their Double Down series, I guess you could call it. Let's run through them. First team we have is Metalizer and Mr. T and Crumpets. Second team is Double XL and Kimbo. Then Looney and Robber's Daughter. Next team, Laura and Cicinto. We have someone called Europa Halo and Precisionite. We then have Manatee and Evil Pander. If you don't know these two, Wonder Boy and Jimbo.
I expect them to take it all.
We then have Ubernick and Hidden Reach. We have Fletch and I'm going to go with Tommy the Krogan.
Yep, you were correct.
We then have Squashy and Kamikaze. Bashford and Speed. Faber and Zoke. Wachi and Akapo. Doodler and Butters Chunky. I Spiteful and Skill Thriller.
Butters Chunky. That's a great name.
We then have Nick Meister and Savior. So go check them out.
Butters Chunky. Oh my God. Chunky. Who would want chunky butter? Like, I get it. There's chunky peanut butter, but like, think about it. If you had like a stick of butter, right? Just stay with me here. All right. I know this is out there. If you had a stick of butter and it was, Will's like, I want out of this conversation as quickly as possible. You have a stick of butter.
Yeah.
And it's literally chunky.
Put it in the microwave, soften it up a bit.
Oh, God. I'd throw that shit away. I would. Ew.
I don't
throw
know.
it in the microwave.
I don't. Maybe he's talking about Butters from South Park. Maybe Butters got chunky.
So a fat Butters.
I don't know.
We're talking about some like Make Love Not Warcraft Butters in there.
Sure.
Their World of Warcraft episode. They got heavier set. Yeah.
Yes.
For the listeners at home. And then Maddie says, chunky butter. Sounds absolutely disgusting, and I wouldn't want any part of that, Maddie. No, thank you.
All right. That's all we have for Roster Mania this week.
Awesome. Then would you mind telling the fine folks at home what the tournament and league recaps of the week include?
Yes. So first up, we have the SWAT Nation Don't Swat Cupid 4v4 results. In 5th through 8th, we had Team Mixed Sweatballs, which was Zombie, AZF, and Nafburger.
I wonder if it's MC, like Master Chief, or if it's MC.
It might be MC because it's capitalized. We're going with MC Sweatballs. All right.
Yeah.
Next time, it's Burn Barbie Burn with Barbie Boy and Bernie. We then have SMH My Head, Tyrant and Halogan. We then had Team Zero, which was Devil Dog OG and Simply Fear Me. In 3rd and 4th, we had Team Fob and the other guy, which was Fob and Spar. And then Gold Dawn, which was NSG Cereal and Smokey a Dig. In 2nd place was Hungarian BRs, Euragian, and the Gold Star BR. In 1st place was found Falcated and Bound, who have been dominating.
And we predicted that, remember?
Yeah, we got one right.
Yeah, we got one! Oh, man!
We did it.
It took so long, but we actually got a prediction right on the show.
It's not like they haven't been winning for weeks, and we just finally were like,
hey, you know what? The times that happened and we go for Tox, and then Tox doesn't win?
Yeah.
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 So we get one right this time. I'll take it. A win's a win, damn it.
That's it for the tournament and league recaps.
Thank you, Will.
Yeah, no problem.
Were you going to say of the week?
I was.
I cut you
But
off.
you cut me like I did.
See, yeah, hey, there we go.
Full circle.
What?
I said we went full circle.
We did. We absolutely did. Okay, so it's time for our topics of the week. First and foremost, the HCS Pro Talk Community All-Star Bracket, or HPTCASB for short. Matchup number 15, the Grand Finals. Will, drum roll, please. son of a bitch.
Didn't go the way you wanted.
It didn't go the way anybody wanted. According to the brackets that people turned in, Snipe Down wins.
Twitter has spoken.
Twitter has spoken. 55.6% of the vote going to Snipe Down.
Yes.
Why are you happy?
I don't know. I'm happy for him. All right, he won. Good job. GG's in the chat.
GG's in the chat. Lethal 44.4%. Clearly, stats don't mean shit. Because if they did, then Lethal would have won by a landslide. But you know what? It's fine.
Hey, we had Royal 2 winning, didn't we?
No.
On our own bracket?
No, we had Lethal winning.
Oh.
Lethal had the most wins out of everybody in the HCS in the past 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I alluded to at the beginning of the show, we had a community bracket that people would turn in, and the winner at the very end will receive a backpack and a t-shirt. So I will be reaching out to the person on Twitter to make sure that their t-shirt is the size that they want it to be. And then we'll make sure we send out the stuff.
Do you want another drum roll?
I was going to ask, but
perfect.
You know what? I'm so glad that you offered. Will, the winner of the HCS Pro Talk Community All-Star Bracket Challenge is... Can say drum roll, please? It's Shane. I already knew because I put it in the envelope. Yeah, I was the one keeping track every week. So I already knew who won. Yep. I had it in there, but it wasn't like an Oscar thing where you like unfold it and it's like, come on down. It ain't like that.
All right.
But Shane had 10 correct predictions and 5 incorrect predictions. Lethal obviously being one of the incorrect ones. To put an idea here of how close this was, a couple other people who submitted had 1 more incorrect, therefore 1 less correct. So it actually was fairly close. Yeah, Shane, congratulations to you. I'll be reaching out to you on Twitter for your shirt size, and we'll get the items shipped out to you. So congratulations.
Louis V. Titan says, Snipe Down has hair that cannot lose. That's the bottom line. Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
What about Pistola? Didn't Pistola have hair that couldn't lose?
That's why they teamed together for so long. They were going off that hair mojo.
Those who have best hair together stay together. Okay, awesome. That's that.
It was, 15 weeks?
15 weeks.
That was a long time to go through that bracket.
It was a lot. It really was a lot.
We made it to the end.
We did, which means regular topics are now going to be part of the show.
We've kind of, the reflection corner has kind of taken...
I like it a lot.
Our topic section.
I like the segment a lot.
So, but yeah, no, congrats to Snipe Down. Congrats to Shane for winning the challenge here. We'll work on getting that information out.
Yes.
Or from him so we can get the prizes out.
Yes. And I guess so stay tuned to more competitions that we have in the future, because I'm guaranteed we will have them in the future. Just don't know what they're going to be, but stay tuned for that. All right, Dreamhack Anaheim preview. Here we go. Let's talk about some talent. So, talent includes Shyway, Bravo, Sims, Clutch, and Walshy. David Walsh. Hey, Will.
Yeah.
Give me that sweet soundbite. Roster recap. Yeah. First time using it live. Feels good. Do you want to go through the rosters of roster recap, Will?
Yeah, let's go.
Do it up.
We have Plague Nation. It's going to be Poseidon's BR, Dusty Fodder, Cisco My Cisco.
Oh, it's Cisco My Disco.
I was wondering if he changed his name.
I did.
Cisco My Disco. Okay.
I changed his name.
You did it for him.
Yep, I did.
And then Condor. We have Unorthodox Gaming. This was Floppy or Floppy. We still don't know. System Stats, Kolek, and Swish.
You know what? He moved, so fuck him. He's not in Minnesota anymore. I don't need to know. I'm just kidding. I love you. I'm just kidding.
We have Project Crimson. I like that name. Monoxide, Silence, Rhino, and RP Common.
They have the same. They spell project the way CD Projekt Red does, the developer of the Witcher series and Cyberpunk.
And Crimson is another shade of red, right?
Yes. I wonder if they're excited for Cyberpunk.
It might be.
An organization.
Too badly it got delayed. But next up, we have Team Minotaurs. Rami, Munoz, Shayla, and Ares. If you don't know them by now, Tox Gaming is Snakebite, Lethal Royal 2, and APG.
Who are they?
Tox Gaming.
Oh.
Includes Snakebite.
You're sure they're not Energy Esports?
Maybe we have some new information coming tomorrow.
Who knows?
We then have Infinite, which is Rain, Ride Noob, King Nick, and Reliable. Team Unlimited is Eco, Trippy, Penguin, and Stellar. We have Mantra, which is Spartan, Falcaged Ace, Boo Boo Doo and that's it. I was going to read another name, but there's nothing there. Status Quo 2020 is Flamesword, Jimbo, Arcanum, and Squall-Eye. Incognito includes Renegade, Pistola, Sane, and Neptune. Falling Esports, Neighbor, Commonly, Sabinator, Hysteria. Guardians Gaming is Queen, Dren, Phasal 1, and Phasal 2. We have Unlimited International, Flux, Tapping Buttons, Moe's, and Respectful. Lux Gaming, we just talked about him a little bit ago. Kratos, Suspector, Denoxide, and Straight Sick. RBG Esports, Gilky, Goofy, Gabriel, and Blaze.
I like how those names roll off the tongue. Gilky, Goofy, Gabriel.
And Blaze.
Yeah, they're blazing. 420, blaze it,
no,
YOLO swag.
Don't go there.
Beer, 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 beer.
I'll see you next week.
You turned 28, correct?
I did today.
Yeah.
28.
Okay. We're old.
Yeah?
Yep, that's
all you wanted.
That's all the point of that was.
All right, Josh, let's get into the predictions.
Predictions! Tox gonna win!
Yeah, they've been dominant for so long.
I'm out! See you next week!
All right, so let's talk about the other teams, though. Like, who do you have coming in behind Tox?
Hold on. So, are you taking Tox in first place? Is that your... Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So am I.
Okay. So, yeah, how can you bet against them at this point, right?
That's a good point. I can't. I can't bet against them. Their practice regime is top notch. They've stuck together for so long. They know each other's ins and outs. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to say. I think they are the team to beat going into the event. Most of them on that team have had great success on Reach already. So, yes, it's being played on PC, but let's be real here. I would say 99% of players that are in the tournament are going to be playing on controller. I'm excited for that conversation, though, to determine like who like I'm excited for that conversation and that statistic behind this is the percentage of people that played with controller. This is the percentage of people that played on keyboard and mouse, right? To see how big of an advantage or disadvantage either peripheral are. But yeah, I would say Tox wins. But you're right. Let's go through the rest of the rosters here. Give me your top 3 that are not Tox.
All right. Let's go with RBG Esports.
Arbiga.
Yes. They've been doing well up to this point.
Yes. In the qualifiers is what you're saying?
Yeah, in the qualifiers.
We saw them do... They won... I mean, they didn't have Blaze, I don't think, at the time, but they won... When they were Lux, they won St. Louis. Atlantic City. They won UGC Atlantic City, didn't they?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Another team, I guess, I'm going to throw Infinite in there.
Or wait. Did they win that? Or did they win the first Halo Classic? Shit. I forgot. They won a Halo 3 event, though, as Lux.
They won a Halo 3 as Lux.
They did. So they know what it's like to be on that top stage, facing up against that top talent.
Now, with the addition of Blaze, we really don't know what he's going to do, what dynamic he's going to provide, what role he's going to play. So
we don't know.
It'll be interesting. But yeah, so then my next team, I guess, and these aren't in any particular order.
I had a feeling, yep.
Infinite, they've showed they've done well in the qualifiers. Now, LAN is a different beast, but
yes.
You've seen Rain, Rynoob, King Nick, and Reliable, I think they've all been playing. They've been playing. Oh, at least King Nick has been playing a lot.
Right. So they've been scrimming.
And then I'm going to go with Unlimited. Eco, Trippy, Penguin, and Stellar.
They're one of mine.
And I think any of those teams can make a splash.
I do too.
But we'll have to wait and see. There's not a lot on the books for Halo Reach, especially with multiple inputs. It's hard to decide for me.
I agree.
But those are the three I'm rolling with.
Okay. So since you took, realistically, I would say you took 2 out of 3 of the ones I was going to pick. I'm going to pick different ones. Okay. So after looking over these rosters, I'm going to go with Unlimited. So that's going to be the one that I copy from you.
Okay.
But I'm also going to go with Mantra because I think Spartan has that fire again.
You think so?
I think he does. Now, whether or not that's for the long haul back, I don't know. But right now, I think he's got that fire again. And he was one of like the breakout players in H2A. Now, I know they're completely different games, but like I think he has that drive to want to compete. And I think every time he kills somebody,
he's going to be screaming.
He's going to be screaming because he's going to think back and remind himself of every single time a person ats him when they really mean to at Spartan Race on Twitter.
Yes.
So every person that he kills, he's going to think that's a person that tweets out that ats the wrong thing. Really gets his revenge on that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
No, but seriously, I think Mantra is going to be some like a team to watch for sure. And then my third, I'm sorry, Falling, but I'm going to go incognito on this one. So Renegade, Pistola, Saiyan, and Neptune. I don't think they've been doing amazingly well in scrims, but I'm never going to count Pistola out.
Especially on LAN.
Yes.
Different environment, double elimination tournament.
Yep. I'm never going to count Pistola out, and I'm never going to count Renegade out, considering Renegade is a world champ. So he knows what it's like to compete at the highest level. He's been off for a little bit, but...
Who was it? I'm starting to second guess myself. Was it Trippy or Renegade that tweeted out and they were like, I'm really excited to play Reach again?
That was Renegade. That was in a post-game interview, if I'm not mistaken. He came up on the stage and he was like, yeah, I'm really excited to have Reach events in the future. For sure. Go.
So, yeah, Renegade could be making a splash.
I agree. Okay, cool. Those are going to be my 3 then. And I feel bad because I'd like to put Falling in there. Because, like, Neighbor and Hysteria have done incredible things, too. With the younger talent of Commonly and Sabinator, but... And like you said, mine were in no particular order. But I just feel bad for not including Falling in that space. Question. Do you think any of the EU players have what it takes to stand out?
What, we have Jimbo. Let me go back up here.
Jimbo, Mose, Respectful, Flux. I think Squall Eye as well.
Yeah, because we have Flamesword, Jimbo, Arcanum, and Squall Eye.
Yep.
Together.
On Status Quo. And then you have Flux, Tapping Buttons, Mose, and Respectful on the Limited International.
I would say Jimbo has more of a chance with Status Quo.
Okay.
We've talked about it before where the EU guys just don't have some of the support and the availability.
Right, they're not even able to get on those scrims either.
Right,
you know?
So it's hard to improve yourself when you're not playing against the best.
Right. Okay. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that one too. I'd like to see, we'd obviously love to see them break out, you know? It's just whether or not that's going to happen. Who the hell knows?
I'll be right back.
Will's going to step away from the microphone. And he'll be back momentarily. But before he gets back, for the listeners out there who are watching live, if you guys have any predictions as to who you think is going to win amazingly, lose horribly, or make a splash at Dreamhack Anaheim, let us know. We'll read them during the show while we wait for Will to get back. And while I wait for comments to come in, if any comments do come in, we have the next segment, which is the Reflection Corner. So the first piece of Reflection Corner that we have here is a game that's going to be coming out in the future. It's still like a alpha-esque scenario here. I don't even think it's in a beta yet, to be completely honest. But Project A, competitive shooters, and can Infinite bring Halo back on top? So Will steps back into the show. Will, we're in the Reflection Corner.
Okay, great.
Okay. And the first piece that we have here is Project A, competitive shooters, and can Infinite bring Halo back on top? Okay. Do you know what Project A is?
Yes,
Bill?
it's the new Riot game shooter
Yes.
that they're working on, first-person shooter.
Yes.
It looks like potentially hero-based.
Yes, ever so slightly, right? So Golden Boy put out a tweet here. And I quote, "Great thread on hashtag Project A from one of the greatest voices in esports. Project A is going to be insane. Henry G," this is his thread that Golden Boy referenced. It's a Twitter thread. I'm going to read through it, and I quote, "Hello. Strap yourself in. I had the chance to spend a day playing Project A at Riot EU. Today, I'm allowed to share some of my initial thoughts and impressions. Please bear with me. I can't go into too much detail about the specifics of a lot of the gameplay until a later date. If you're reading this and you're not familiar with what I do, I am known as Henry G, primarily a CSGO commentator and former professional CS player. That's Counter-Strike. Down a similar vein to these upcoming tweets, I was also part of the first ever playtest of CSGO in 2011 at Valve. First of all, at its core, Project A is essentially a round-based 5-on-5 tactical shooter, most similar to CSGO as a Twitter surface level comparison, with the better and slightly diluted elements of a class/hero-based FPS games such as Overwatch or Apex Legends, for example. The game mode we had access to was MR12 DE/S&D, so like search and destroy, with an A and B bomb site with an attack and defense swap at halftime. In my opinion, these aforementioned classes and their own unique abilities should be seen as tactical utility instead of potentially overpowered spell and ultimate combinations that other class-based games suffer from. Generally speaking, abilities primarily need to be purchased at the start of a round instead of earned over time with the same economy reservoir as the weaponry. Okay? So you don't earn them, you have to buy them. The gameplay and gun mechanics are super slick and satisfying. On the build I played, we experienced pretty well-balanced and varied hit-scan weapons that had their own unique spray patterns and best methods of approach for your situation or position. Similar to CSGO, with the economy system, you could partially invest into rounds with less firepower to take a gamble on a round and enter with basic abilities and utility. You can have a great time playing without having to rely too much on abilities to assist you in your game. Saying that, there's nothing more satisfying dropping a successful combo of movement mechanics abilities that isolates your opponent to buy space before pulling the trigger on the killing blow. All classes have access to the same generic weaponry via an economy CSGO fans wouldn't find too difficult to adjust to. Generally speaking, a one-bullet headshot with one of the primary rifles with any class and hero wielding it will do enough damage to take down an opponent. Okay. Again, that's generally speaking. One of the most exciting elements of the game, to me, was the map design. They have been beautifully created and follow Counter-Strike-esque familiar lanes and choke points, with a focus on gameplay substance rather than flowery aesthetics. I'll be creating some initial content at a later date where I can dive into a lot more specific information. For now, I will say that this is a very exciting title that is being built by the right people that has the potential to be one of the giant titles of the FPS space. I will leave you with this bombshell. Project A is the best game I've played since CSGO. I want to make it extremely clear that all of these words are my own. Riot have not requested a single edit or had any problem with me being this candid. They have been refreshingly cool about this. So there's the thread. And then, before we talk about it, Slasher also put out a tweet. Slasher is also huge within the esports space. Okay. This is what he said. If Riot does everything right with Project Ares, Project A, will be the biggest FPS shooter game in the world by 2021. Project Ares will surpass CSGO, Fortnite, Overwatch, Call of Duty, Apex, Rainbow Six, Crossfire, and all other shooters internationally. So, my question, does Halo even have a chance to make it back on top when games are coming out there that are being built from the ground up to the competitive and accessible player base? Will, what do you think?
Oh, that's a heavy and loaded question, Josh.
Like I said at the beginning, heavy hitters here in the reflection corner.
Does Infinite have the chance to be back on top?
Do you think it just remains a heavily niche esport? Or do you think it has the chance to actually be one of these top tier with Call of Duty powerhouses?
I'm going to say a powerhouse. No.
Okay.
But because you have to look, the reason Overwatch and Call of Duty are being invested into is because of a track record.
Correct.
Halo doesn't have that track record currently.
Correct. It hasn't for a long time.
Not since Halo 2 days.
Halo 3.
2 and 3, right?
Yep.
Ramping into MLG days. They were the start.
They were.
Halo, yeah. Halo was the start of all of this.
In the FPS space,
in the FPS.
I think you're right on that.
Right.
That or CS. I don't remember when Counter-Strike 1.6 came out. I'm pretty sure that came out before Source.
I think
either way.
I think in this article, these people saying it's going to overtake Call of Duty and CSGO, I think they're overstating it a bit because, like, if I enjoy Call of Duty, but I don't enjoy CSGO.
Sure.
Like, yeah, I get it. It's competitive and it's, realistic and the one shots and all that. And
now, Slasher also said internationally.
Sure.
So, like, all encompassing, right? Not just here in the U.S. where we like shooty, bang, bang, fast movement. In other words, Sprint's going to be an Infinite. Just giving you guys a heads up.
But does Halo have the chance? I think Infinite has to be the groundwork to show that a league can be ran or their esports can be ran well and be profitable for someone else to come in and boost it up.
Sure.
We don't have. I don't even know if how I want to put this, but we just don't have the eyes on Halo like it used to be. Honestly, a lot of times when I talk about Infinite coming out with people that haven't followed, like a lot of the times when I talk about Halo with people I know that play games, they're like, oh, like that Halo's still a thing. It's like, oh yeah, I played Halo 3. Like that's the last thing they heard about from Halo. So I don't know what the state of Halo is going to be when Infinite releases. We're in this space where like the community wants very specific things. It's tough, man. It's tough. I don't know.
I know it's a difficult question to ask and answer, especially considering we haven't seen gameplay of Infinite yet. So we really don't know what it's going to be like. We just know that it's going to have Sprint because duh. And we know they have a pro team, right? It's just whether or not those pro team viewpoints are being taken into consideration.
I'm gonna go on a tangent, not a tangent, but I'm gonna go off here.
Is Ranty Will about to come into the space in the reflection corner? Take it away, Will.
The old vets are killing Halo.
Ooh.
They want classic movement. They want Halo 2, Halo 3 type stuff.
Sure.
People like Shotsy, you could say Sand, who I saw a video, I don't remember who it was on YouTube, but he was just going over Halo 5 movement. And these people who are putting down the new Halos because of the movement and not just mastering it, they might be mastering it too, but they're putting it down because it's not what they want.
Right.
It's showing a negative on Halo, and it makes it people not want to tune in, not want to watch.
Yep.
Like the pros have their issues, like Call of Duty right now. The pros have their own issues with Call of Duty.
Yes.
But they're not super vocal about it. They'll say, "Oh yeah, that map's bad. Why are the spawns like this?" But they're not like dogging it every day. They're not putting it down like every day. Like I do see from like the Halo community puts down its own game constantly.
You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong.
From an outside perspective, why is that going to draw you into this game? If
it's not.
It's not. So like the old vets who are out there like saying no, we want classic Halo.
Yeah.
It kind of they're putting down and basically deterring possibly new players, new possible pros that could come into the scene and shake things up. If like, just imagine like what if, what's Simp, right?
Yeah.
Simp on Atlanta FaZe.
Yeah, unbelievable player.
Unbelievable. What
Young
if he
talent.
what if instead of playing Call of Duty his whole life, he was persuaded to play Halo instead? What could be made? Like, think of that, like, that type of player.
God.
Like, he could be contending with Shotsy and,
I think he would be that or better. Like, that's how scary he is. Holy shit.
So, it's crazy. Like, the way esports works right now is, the players themselves is what carries a team, or like you have the few NRGs, Optic, like the big organizations that draw a crowd.
You're right though. It's the players that make that happen.
But it's the players. If Optic never got the best players, they would have never been Optic.
If Scump and Formal weren't on Energy or weren't on Chicago Huntsman, which is owned by Energy as well, if they weren't on that, then would anybody care?
I wouldn't be a fan as much.
No. That's the thing. It's the players that make at least that esport what it is.
Right.
Right.
Well, you can say the same thing for Halo.
Sure.
Everyone loves Tox because they're the best.
Yep.
They were Optic. They were CLG. They dominated. People still love Pistola and Snipedown. Snipedown won our community all-star bracket, which Josh is not happy about, but it's because people love him.
No, I love him too. There's nothing against him. I was just saying stats wise. But no, I hear you.
So then, let's bring this back. Those same people that we love because they're Halo pros and they've been in the community so long are saying, "Oh, this game's shit." Okay, why am I going to watch then? Why am I going to tell my friends to go play? You know what I mean? Like
I hear you. I think
so. Can Infinite, and it's going to be tailored to the new style of games.
Right.
And another thing that you can take away is when Halo first came out, it was revolutionary for the space.
Absolutely.
So everyone was playing it.
Absolutely.
Other games have revolutionized better than what Halo has done.
Thank you. Yes.
So that's where the people go, is games that are going to attract them. So if you want to go back to Halo 1 and Halo 2 style game, like sure, you might be happy playing with the 5 other people that love it too. I'm just going to say it. Like,
yeah, Silos.
No.
I'm fucking with. I'm just kidding.
Like, it's not going to bring in a large audience if it goes back to the way it was.
Right. It won't. It'll be too slow.
If it was going to bring in that large of an audience, we would have saw that influx with MCC because those games are coming back out. Or when it got fixed, Or
we may not have seen. No, I'm not going to go as far as to say that.
Not saw it come out to PC.
No, I was going to say maybe we would have seen it continue that way if the popularity continued as well. So, like, I don't know. The reason why I didn't want to say that is because Halo Reach was still very popular. It was still very popular. And when it introduced those newer things into the franchise for the first time.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just the competitive scene didn't really work out to the fullest that it could, I guess you could say, with Reach. And then when that happened and then 4 came out, it just took the biggest dive. Right. But Reach was still a very popular game overall.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what those conversations were like when Bungie were thinking to themselves, you know what, we are going to put a sprinting mechanic in this game. I don't know what their thought process was, because from a lore-based standpoint, right? Reach chronologically in timeline format is before Halo 1. Yeah. Halo 1, 2, and 3 and ODST didn't have sprint. Halo Reach did.
But you could also look at Reach was made from the lore, which did have Spartans able to do those types of things.
Right, and that's the thing too, is that, like, realistically, I mean, that's why it's hard for me, right? I don't know what the conversation was behind closed doors to be like, we're going to go with the sprint mechanic, we're going to go with a jetpack mechanic, so on and so forth, right? I just don't know. And like I said, Reach was still incredibly popular when it came out. It's just that competitive side of that community that was starting to dwindle a little bit.
Yes.
So
for Halo to be popular again.
Yes.
Let's just put it like, not esports, just generally popular, on top of everyone's radar again.
Yeah.
Does this game have to cater to the casuals to bring them back into this game over the competitive? Do we need to, because your competitive community is going to be mad, but what would you rather have? Would you have your game be wildly successful with these mechanics and all this stuff that people want in their games nowadays?
Sure.
Or would you rather have a niche community still that likes what they like and come out with the style that everyone that has been asking for?
So can I ask you a follow-up question?
Sure.
Is there a reason why we can't have it both ways? So the reason, now let me give you an example why I say that, or why I asked that question. Call of Duty, right? I'm going to give you two examples, actually. Give you two. So Call of Duty, because it is so easy to just, I got my kill streaks, I got the guns I want, the perks I want, boom, 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 I'm going into matchmaking, quick play, awesome, great, right? Super easy to get into, super casual.
Yeah.
And you also have the polar opposite, where these guns are banned, these attachments are banned, these perks are banned, no radar, you can shoot your teammate, and it's competitive, right? You have that subset as well. And then it is huge. It's the biggest gaming release of the year every year, right? My other example is going to be the Counter-Strikes. You know what? I'm going to stick with FPSs, with Counter-Strike, right? Where it is really, really easy to get into, because you can play TDM if you want, but it's a round based. You buy your guns, you buy your equipment, you have your allotted amount that you can spend. If you kill people, you get more money, whatever. If you win a round, you get more money. But you have your maps. You go kill the person. It's easy to learn, but very, very difficult to master with the competitive scene. So I know we've talked about it a lot before, like, should they have two separate playlists, one for competitive, one for not? I'm just asking, I'm going to ask you a different question.
Okay.
Is it because it's Halo that it will never be on top again? Is it because it has the name of Halo? Is it never going to be on top again?
Because people expect certain things?
Sure.
Or
that's
a tough one.
I'm overgeneralizing here.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking.
Because, like, a lot of people came out and said, yeah, Halo 5 is a great game, but it's not a Halo game.
Right. Well, what is?
So if it was a great game, why not just enjoy it for what it is?
Right. Is Halo 4 not a Halo game? Shitting on it aside, is it not a Halo game? Is Halo Reach not a Halo game? Because we've talked about it all the time, where Halo 1 is not the same game as Halo 2.
Or 3.
Or 4.
Or 5.
Or Reach. Or ODST.
There's not been a continuous stream of what it should be.
Right. Now, people will come out with a rebuttal, and I can respect this one, where they say, well, we've gotten away from what is the holy trinity of Halo gameplay. Weapons, grenades, melee. It feels like we've gotten away from that. And you know what? That is the one response that I've looked at when it comes to a reply to a tweet, to a YouTube comment, whatever, when I look at that and I'm like, you know what? You may actually have a point there. Because before, when the armor abilities were not in the game, it was based off of weapons, grenades, and melee.
Therefore, making positioning and movement
much more important.
Much more important.
But at the same time, if you look at Halo 5, your position is still incredibly important.
Yeah.
It's just what you do with those abilities that you have. You still have to use your weapons. You're not going to kill anybody if you don't. Or you have to use your melee. You're not going to kill anybody if you don't. And you still have to use your grenades. Hit markers notwithstanding, they're a great positional awareness mechanism to use.
One thing I did notice from watching, like, we saw the Halo 3 tournaments and the Halo 5 tournaments.
Yes.
In Halo 5, the power weapons and power-ups could swing a game dramatically, where in Halo 3, it just didn't seem like you got a couple kills, sure, but they never seemed to be as impactful as Halo 5.
And you know what? I love that. I love what you just said there, because thinking about it, looking back on those Halo 3 tournaments, when you have a fresh rocket launcher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you just have 2 rockets, okay? And you're on the you're on, it doesn't even matter what map. Fuck it. Any CTF map that has rockets as well, right? You would think that I have rockets. Oh, we have a player down on the other team. Let's start working our way up. Oh, we got 2 dead. Let's push, right?
You're talking Halo 5 or 3?
3. I'm talking 3.
Okay.
Because when that happens, you would expect them to get the flag and probably cap that thing, right? There have been so many instances in 3 where I've seen where I've seen a team have numbers, have rockets, maybe get a couple kills, but they still weren't able to capitalize while having the power weapon. Now, maybe that's a good thing, because that's nice that the other team still has that chance to come back and stop that pull. But with 5, you're right. If you have a power weapon, that can drastically swing a game. If you have Sniper on Plaza, right? You're able to lock areas down. Nobody's moving from Plaza itself. Like nobody's leaving that yellow hall, right?
Yeah.
If somebody wants to try to poke their head through blue, if Sniper's in Nest watching, you're probably dead, right? You're trying to come up from glass, don't even try it. You probably have to try to sneaky play from bottom mid, but your other teammates are probably around there watching flanks. So, positionals. And weapons, grenades, melee aside, those armor abilities, the sprint, the clamber, the thrust, take some away, keep them, whatever it may be, those all, in my opinion, enhance that gameplay experience. Sure, I wish clamber worked 100% of the time because it just didn't, but like when you're able to string together, you know what? Here's an analogy for you.
Oh boy.
Halos 1, 2, and 3. I'm not going to include Reach or 4 because just bear with me for the sake of the analogy.
Okay.
Halos 1, 2, and 3 were like a band. You know, your 3-piece band. Drums, guitar, vocals. That's what you got. Okay? They're band.
Okay. Well, can we call it a 4-piece band with some bass in there too? Since there was a
weapons, grenades, melee. That's what I'm thinking. Weapons. You feel me?
I was thinking 4v4. You know.
I'm just saying guitars. Okay, drums, guitars, vocals. So you can have bass and.
Sure.
Yeah,
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
So while Halos 1, 2, and 3 were the band, Halo 5 is the orchestra. What do you think of that? All those armor abilities, stringing them together in a beautiful piece. Thrust, slide, jump, stabilize, clamber up. Perfect position. Ooh. Beautiful.
So,
yeah.
Let's get back to the root.
I'm sorry. The reflection corner.
So what do you think? Can Halo be back on top? I'm going to say with Infinite, no.
Agreed.
It hurts me to say it.
I know. It really does. But I'm looking at big picture here, right? Does Halo release every year?
No.
And that's not to say that if it did, it would be a good thing, because it could very well be a bad thing. But Call of Duty releases every year. Okay? It's continually fresh. And that's people love to shit on COD. Mm-hmm. But the reason why I love Call of Duty so much and respect Call of Duty so much is because they don't do the Madden or the FIFA shit where they just release the literal same game every year.
With slight tweaks.
Right. The thing I love about Call of Duty and respect about Call of Duty is that they have their core shooting gameplay down to a science. Mm-hmm. No one can imitate it. It's purely their own. So many people have tried, and I think the one that comes closest to it is probably Titanfall in terms of just the shooting itself.
Okay.
But that shooting feels so good. It's so snappy. It's smooth. It's butter. It's not chunky butter. It's just butter. Okay. To bring all the way back. Good. But seriously, that's the way I feel about Call of Duty. I don't think Halo comes near that. So regardless of it being released every year, when you have something that feels that damn good to play and it releases every year on top of that with fresh shit, oh man. So the only way in my mind that I could see Halo be back on the metaphorical top of competitive FPS is their game has to be feature complete at launch. I mean, feature complete. It needs to have more than 4 maps that can be used in a competitive rotation. Then, if they go the seasonal route, whatever, they need to have refreshing content come in all of the time. Because I don't think that Halo can thrive for years on end like a Counter-Strike if they only play on a map like Rust. Because I don't think that would tie correctly to the type of gameplay that Halo's providing. Right? I just think there needs to be fresh stuff. Like, if Call of Duty stuck with one game, but they continually iterated on it and added new maps to the competitive pool, so on and so forth, I think, honestly, it could work. It could. But they'd lose out on a lot of money because they want to make a lot of money by releasing a new game every year. But if Halo wants to remain on top and remain relevant, they need to not necessarily do the Fortnite thing, but they need to at least have their roadmap, have things come out at set times. This is what people can expect. It doesn't even need to be a battle pass. Like, just continually bring fresh content in. I don't want to see Forge remakes of maps anymore. I want them developing in-house maps. And you know what? If they come out with map packs or whatever, if they do the season pass, have like 2 competitive, 2 regular.
Sure.
This is thinking, I don't know if Warzone's going to be in it. I don't know if Warzone's going to be in Infinite. But that's what I'll say. Otherwise, no. I don't think it stands a chance. And like you said, it pains me to say it too.
Yeah. It's a AAA title that can't compete with other AAA titles, it seems. And that's, I don't know, do we need, like, I think, I'm going to go, I think 343 and Microsoft need to re-examine their marketing strategy for Halo.
Sure.
I mean, we've had barely anything on it. Like, where's the game stores being plastered with posters, and where's, just random, like, I felt like when Halo 2 and 3 were coming out, like, it was just everywhere.
It was everywhere.
Like, I couldn't go to Target without it being in my face.
But at the same time, that was at a time where not a lot of people were in the space with first-person shooters on console.
Very true.
And they were the most hotly anticipated titles of that year. One of them, I mean. But I did see a lot of promotion with 5. You had the Hunt the Truth campaign with like the podcast that came out, which was actually very good. If you guys have not listened to Hunt the Truth, you need to listen to Hunt the Truth. It's really good. Very, very good. Well, if you haven't, highly recommend it still. But they didn't follow any of that. Like, that's not what the game was about, and it was shitty because we thought it was, but it wasn't. So, But no, to this day, I still see Halo 5 Guardians posters on game stores.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in their window and whatnot. Still see it.
5 years later.
5 years later?
4.5. 4 to 5 years later.
Yeah. But no, you still see it. Halo 5 was marketed well. But that marketing didn't translate well to the gameplay itself.
So it was marketed poorly.
Yes.
They made you think it was going to be one thing.
Right. It was marketed well in a standpoint of it's getting a lot of eyes in front of it and a lot of ears listening. But right, it was poor marketing in the sense that it didn't translate. It didn't translate to the actual game itself, which is very unfortunate. But that's what I got. Anything else you want to add, Will?
We went deep on that one. Let's keep going.
Oh, so deep. The last piece of the Reflection Corner, we have the current state of E3. So Jeff Keighley, creator of the Game Awards every year, the creator of the E3 Coliseum, where it's a round table of devs that come in, have segments, so on and so forth. He's been to every E3 for the past 25 years. He's very prolific within the space. He's a well-known name. He's a household name of video games, if you will. And here's what he said. Quote, I wanted to share some important news about my plans around E3 2020. For the last 25 years, I've attended every electronic entertainment expo. Covering, hosting, and sharing E3 has always been a highlight of my year, not to mention a defining part of my career. I've debated what to say about E3 2020. While I want to support the developers who will showcase their work, I also need to be open and honest with you, the fans, about precisely what to expect from me. I've made the difficult decision to decline to produce E3 Coliseum. For the first time in 25 years, I will not be participating in E3. I look forward to supporting the industry in other ways and at other events in the future. And here is Jeff's quote from a Washington Post article. Quote, based on what's been communicated to me about the show, I just don't feel comfortable participating, Keighley told the Post. Quote, it's no secret that E3 needs to evolve, and I have lots of ideas around that, but I've decided to take a wait-and-see approach. I'm looking forward to learning more about what the ESA's vision for the new show, or for the show beyond what was in the blog post last week, end quote. So, Will, my question to you and my question to the audience out there. So, what should E3 do to remain relevant? Or is it all right in its current state?
Ooh. First off, I want to say hello, Goalie Sniper, in the live chat.
Justin LaFleche.
Appreciate you stopping by. But E3.
E3.
What does it do to have to stay relevant? Or is it okay?
So, before you answer, let me paint a picture for the people at home, because some people might not realize this or might not just know. E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo, it is not a show for us. Okay? Let me just get the point across. It is not a show for the normal individual like you and me. E3 is a trade show. It is a trade show for investors. It's a trade show for marketers. It's a trade show for retailers. That's what the majority of what E3 is. Now, since that is what they are at their core, they have since, now a long time ago, it was open to the public. Up until years ago, I would say, not a long, long time ago, but years ago, they changed it from being a public event to being something that you had to have media credentials for, or you were a retailer, you would have a pass, right? Now, they sold these passes, so you could buy them and you could basically just go, but usually you'd have to have an affiliation with a company. Recently, within the past 2 or 3 years, they again opened it up to the public, but again, you'd have to buy a ticket and they'd be expensive, but you'd be able to go. Okay? Now, the reason why this is important is because E3, being a trade show for investors, retailers, media, right? There are lines at these events that these higher profile people wait in to see demos of games that are coming out. Maybe it's the same demo that's shown during a press conference. Maybe it's not. But those gaming media outlets talk about that, right? The retailers think about the type of stock that they want to get for their store, how they want to push their promotion for pre-orders because pre-orders are big now, so on and so forth. It is a trade show. So, Will, I bring it back to you. I asked you the question, what should they do to remain relevant, or is it already all right in its current state?
So I feel like the person who watches at home most of the time is your average viewer.
Yes.
So they're not thinking about it in that trade show light. They're just, what information can I get?
Yes.
So you have companies like Microsoft that put on these big productions at E3 and stream them so everyone can check out whatever's coming out next.
Yes.
Basically, for them, a giant marketing tool to show what they have, to get pre-orders, whatever it may be. I don't know what they need to do. I honestly don't. I'm excited to watch it every year, but like I could do without all the cringy commentary.
Right, like Ubisoft's press conference every year?
So,
or EA's for that matter too?
I don't know. I don't know what they need to do.
Okay. So, Justin, Goalie Sniper, says, I think it's got to morph into a thing for the fans. So I asked him, how so? So, Justin, I'll wait for a reply. How do the listeners think it should go down?
I'm wondering if they make it for the fans, like they could have, I think what it's meant to be is the expo itself is supposed to be for the developers and all that.
Yes.
So close that off to the public. Have it for the developers. Have it for the people who need to be there, essentially. And then have all the streams be more personal to the people who...
Sure.
Rather than, because like I feel like some of these companies show off every single thing they have, or they show barely anything.
Right.
And I don't know. Gosh, it's do they just go to like making a video? Like kind of like what Nintendo does a video? Do we not have like the personal live experience? Like would they just do like a huge promotional video?
Sure.
Would
no, because PlayStation does the same thing now basically with their state of play a few times throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
So they've gotten to that direct approach, right? And Microsoft, and when Sony does do one, right, they are in a theater. They book out a theater. Mm-hmm. They're not at the trade floor.
Right.
Like, the trade show floor doesn't open until that Monday. These press conferences happen that Saturday and Sunday before in a completely separate location.
It's basically their hype video for the conference so they can get people into their booths to see their stuff.
Correct. And realistically, the people who are there are going to see their stuff anyway because they have appointments booked.
Yes.
That's the whole point. It's just regular Joe Schmo who buys a spectator pass who doesn't have an appointment that has to wait in those lines too. Mm-hmm. So it's hard because to me it's like Christmas every year. It's stuff I get to look forward to. It's something I get excited for every time. I request basically the week off every year from work, and they know it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that we come back from your bachelor party right as it's about to begin for the press conferences.
Yep.
So it's going to be exciting, to say the least. All right, so Justin replied, people are the ones buying these games. It should be used as a massive, hey, this is what's coming next year, instead of companies splitting off trying to make their own announcement show. Because I feel like the majority of people are missing what they drop. Example, State of Play. I never watch, but E3 might make me buy a next generation PlayStation if the games they show interest me more than another console. I can respect that. Because realistically, they don't do a whole lot of promotion for their State of Play. They basically say, hey, it's going to happen at this time. It's going to happen on this day. You should tune in if you want to know about these games. And if you don't want to know about those games, then what the fuck's the point in tuning in, right? But we already know that Sony pulled out of this year's E3 Nintendo has their Direct that they're going to be doing. EA has their EA Play. It's just, realistically, thinking about it, if we have press conferences, I mean, we are going to have press conferences. Microsoft is we already know they're going to have one. It's okay, Justin, don't worry about the spelling. So realistically, press conferences that we have for this year's E3, Ubisoft, Microsoft, maybe Bethesda, maybe.
Can't forget Devolver.
Right, they'll have their own little they'll have their pre-recorded video, which is fantastic every year. And then the PC gaming show that nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah.
Oh man. Kind of feels like dire straits a little bit
for gaming.
Yeah. Just as because that's what, yes, keeping in mind that E3 is a trade show, E3 was that thing though, that everybody got excited for. It's the time of the year that everybody gets amped up about. Video games. New video games.
Yeah.
We saw Cyberpunk for the first time. Hello?
Hopefully we see more.
Right.
It's supposed to be out already, but
that's the thing. It's so hard for me because it's something that I look forward to every year, and I think I'll probably always look forward to it every year. But it just really blew my mind that Sony decided they didn't want to do it, considering they have a console coming out this year. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe that now, yes, E3 is not in the same state it was in before, but you're letting Microsoft run away with it. You're just letting them. They have to have a launch lineup for the fucking console.
Well, they could be the same thing that you talked about them doing last year, or last generation, when they waited for Xbox or Microsoft to announce their price point, and
sure.
Sony undercuts them.
That very well could be it. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Okay. Yeah, I'm anxious about what the future of E3 is going to hold. I'm actually anxious about what this year's E3 is going to hold as well. So, who knows? But that's it for the Reflection Corner. Hey, Will.
Yeah.
Regular news. The button didn't want to work there for a second. Is that what happened? Or did you not hit it?
I must have not pressed hard enough.
Oh, okay. You got to be harder with it. You got to beat it. Just beat it.
All right.
Beat it. Just beat it. Okay, first piece of regular news. Halo Infinite's new engine lays groundwork for the future of Halo. This is by Eddie McCooch. I don't know. Of GameSpot. And I quote, "For Halo Infinite, the team at 343 Industries built more than a game. They also developed a brand new game engine, Slipspace. Now, the studio has spoken a little bit more about what that engine allows the team to do, and it sounds like a lot. Halo franchise director Frank O'Connor said in a video that the Slipspace engine was designed for next-generation game development and also to be easier to work with. We had to create an engine that was more powerful for next-generation development, but also more nimble, so the creatives and engineers are able to work more easily and iterate faster," end quote, he said. Quote, "This technical groundwork is vital to build a platform for the future of Halo," end quote. Engineering director David Berger said in the video that the Slipspace engine allows the team at 343 to do things that were not possible with the previous game-making tools. Quote, you have to make tools that allow you to make new features that allow you to make features that weren't thought about before. You've got to give the content creators room to ideate outside of that, end quote, he said. Multiplayer director Tom French, meanwhile, said one of the benefits of the Slipspace engine is that it allows the team to try new things more quickly than before. Quote, "Designers are more empowered themselves to actually tackle a problem and prototype something quicker and faster than we've ever done before," end quote. So there you go. They made an engine and does cool things. And we'll see if Infinite looks really good or doesn't. Who knows? Next up, Halo CE bringing back the OG. This is by Postums on Twitter, and I quote, "Music to your ears, CE players? Too long didn't watch. OG audio sounds for multiplayer in CE and MCC." So there you go. They're bringing back the old sounds. None of that new remastered shit. Speaking of Halo CE, PC flighting has officially begun. Check your emails if you haven't already. See if you got accepted. And if you didn't, keep an eye out in your emails anyway. Because, you know, you could always still get accepted because they're going to send out more invites as waves continue. So keep an eye on your email. Next up, Robbie provides job description. This is by Robbie1 Kenobi. So, this is a Twitter thread, and I quote, "I get the question about what the director of player voice means. Well, here you go. My role is really player advocacy. It's not about managing the community on social media at all. My job is to take all of the player input across all of the feedback channels. Channels like flighting, councils, community, and internal and work with the team to integrate and process that feedback effectively. It's about building pipelines and feedback mechanisms that game needs, whether that be panels, councils, or larger flighting plans. It's about working with teams to create design intent that we can use to measure success against actual players that allows us to prioritize and segment our feedback effectively to work with it. It's also about creating the outputs from feedback that teams like community can use to effectively communicate why we made the decisions we made and creating a transparency for you, our players, to understand where feedback is and how it's being acted upon. Finally, it's about representing the player's perspective in design and development and ensuring you have a voice at the table and that your feedback is heard and managed appropriately. That's not to say we do everything you say or that the loudest voices are the right ones. However, it doesn't mean you get transparency into where your feedback goes and if it is being acted upon or not. Hope that added clarity. It did. Thanks, Robbie. And thanks for all that you do and all that you will continue to do to infinity and beyond. You're welcome for that one. And finally, the last piece of news. Will and I were actually kind of wondering about this, and now we actually have some clarification on this as well. Halo Outpost update. This is by John Friend on Twitter, and I quote, "I've gotten a few questions lately about the future of Halo Outpost Discovery and want to share an update. Outpost Discovery's tour last year was such an incredible high point for us. We loved the opportunity to bring fans together, and we're excited to do it again and bring all of our learnings from last year forward. We're actively working now on future plans and new ideas. But we will unsurprisingly be taking a break from touring in summer 2020 as we focus on preparing Halo Infinite for launch this fall. We've got a lot to land as a whole, and my consumer products team has a lot of fun, new things in the pipeline. Thank you to everyone who's joined us last summer and who continues to express interest and excitement for Halo Outpost. We can't wait to see you again." So there you go. We officially will not be going to an event in 2020.
Not a Halo Outpost event.
Or a Halo event, more than likely.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2021.
Infinite, you know.
Infinite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to the first one.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
All right.
We're fucking going.
All right.
All right.
All right.
What did you just do?
I hit the mic with my hat.
Oh, nice job. Doink. Not a double doink, though.
No.
You know?
I'm not the kicker for the Bears.
Nope. Was it Luke Kuechly? Was that his name? Yeah. Sorry, bro. Just name dropped you. Well, that's it for the regular news. And that means it's time for Will's Adventures with Halo. Will, what'd you play this week?
Mostly other games too, but so it started with some Modern Warfare. Got my games in, bought the Battle Pass because I wanted that dude with the ghost face because he looked badass.
Was he badass?
He is, but I have one complaint. He doesn't, you can't change his uniform. So I was going to put him in the rocker gear.
Oh.
I couldn't.
Well, that's lame.
It's not possible.
That's lame.
He is what he is. So, yeah, played some Modern Warfare. Tried, did I do any of this? I don't think I did any of the CDL playlists because I did. I did a couple of games.
Did you?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
It was fine besides the fact they reset all, your loadouts are reset when you go in. So, I loaded it in my first game, had to redo all, my resets.
Oh, my God.
from the beginning.
Why'd they do that?
Because some items are banned.
Oh,
so
that makes more sense.
It wouldn't translate over. So,
well, I wish now I just wish that they put like a little flag on the item that you already have equipped in your loadout to be like, hey, this is banned in the playlist that you're selecting.
Yeah.
That would have been way more beneficial
also,
than fucking resetting all of them.
I'm curious how, like, because if you go to edit your weapons, you edit them for casual. But once you go into the CDL playlist, how do you edit them for the CDL playlist? Unless there's a new tab I don't know about. I should have looked a little harder. But, yeah, played some Modern Warfare.
Okay.
And then yesterday.
Oh, God, yesterday.
I woke up to a text from my friend Joe. And he was like, EFT today? I'm like, yeah, I just woke up. And then he was like, all right, I'm taking a shit. I'll be out in 10 minutes. I'm like, shit. Okay. So I, woke up, got my morning routine going and hopped online, and I played for over 12 hours with Mr. Joe yesterday in Tarkov.
12 hours?
12 hours of Tarkov, man.
What the fuck, man?
It was good. We were working on challenges, getting things done. We were escaping. I died a few times, and then he was able to hide my gear on the map, so you get it back in insurance.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
Yeah, it's nice to have a friend. I found a gun that I like, and it's kind of you could call it a budget build. It's like 25 grand for the gun. I add a front mount on it, which I then put a sight and a foregrip on. And then, it's a pretty good AK.
How much is a lot of money in that game? When would you consider yourself wealthy in Tarkov? Give me a estimate.
Never. Wealthy. Okay.
Is $1 million a lot?
I have no. $1 million's not a lot.
Okay.
So I had 2.5 million to start the day. I hovered around that for a while until I bought an item that was worth 700,000. And basically what that does is it consolidates, you get keys in the game, which you can open up doors, certain doors that are normally locked then.
Sure.
And they have potentially better loot inside.
Okay.
So I got a key tool, which you can put 12 keys into this one key tool. So instead of taking up 12 slots in your inventory.
So it's a keychain.
It's a keychain. It takes up one. They cost, because keys are so valuable in that game.
That cost you $700,000 for a fucking keychain?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so that's like,
did it have Tarkov branding on it or some shit? Just some basic ass keychain?
In the game, yes. It's a key tool. Like, you can flip out the keys and then you can use them.
Good Lord.
So here's the thing though. Like, when you have 15 keys for one map, you are not going to bring those in your normal pockets because they're worth a lot of money.
Oh yeah. No, I completely understand.
It's consolidation. Yes. You pay a lot of money to consolidate your stash because you have a limited inventory.
Right. And the fact that it takes up less space and the keys are so valuable and you have the potential for getting something incredible behind one of those doors.
Right.
I get it.
There's a spot on customs that I had a key for, and literally like anywhere from 0 to like 4 guns can spawn in this one little rack. Jesus. So, I mean, if you get there and you can get all those guns and get out, you can make your money back just over time by having that key and key tool.
That's awesome. Okay.
You have a hideout. So like your own little hub, you can update, like you can update your security. You can get like a generator to get lights. You can upgrade the lights. You can upgrade like a resting place, and all this helps you in game. So as you upgrade your hideout, the game's really in depth. So when you're in raid, your energy and your hydration go down.
Right.
So you need to eat and drink.
Yeah.
So if you upgrade your hideout, like you have a better resting space. So therefore your energy goes down slower in raid. Your hydration goes down slower. It can help you in the long run.
Okay.
For a casual player who's not going to play a lot of Tarkov, it's not really worth it to upgrade your hideout.
Sure.
But since I've been having long sessions and playing it, I've dumped some money into that. So,
okay.
Anyway, I ended the day around 1.2 million.
The reason why I asked you if $1 million was a lot is because did you see
they gave out $1 million?
Yes, because of the server issues.
What you
ranted about last time.
Yeah.
They listened to you, Will. That's what I was getting at.
They were they were proactive because a lot of people were not happy with the server issues. And they didn't, like, people weren't really, like, they were just saying, come on, fix your servers. And you got to look, like, this is a game made in Russia. They're on a, I don't know what their stability is over there for internet. But recently, over the last month and a half, they've boosted in popularity. They've never had this many concurrent players.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And it's the game right now.
And the fact is, it's at a point where there's so many players now, they've never had this much loot in game.
Oh.
So if you think about it, if you load into a map, you have to load every single piece of loot people are bringing in, everything like people are dying with, discarding, it all stays on that map.
Yes.
So when you have this many players and you don't have the server capacity, things are not going well. So they did correct some server issues. They expanded already.
Good.
And they gave out that $1 million.
Yep.
But yes, the $1 million really wasn't a lot. I spent that on one item almost, you know?
Great.
So watching like Dr. Lupo play, he hovers around 35 million right now.
Well, he's also able to play all day.
I also watched another streamer last night that had 555 million. Like, he was nuts. Like, I don't know how.
Woo!
So you can make a lot of money.
Jesus.
It all depends on how much you play and how good you are.
So you need to play more is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, no, the session.
Vicky, hear that?
More video games.
He needs to play more Tarkov. 15 hours a day, every day.
But it was a fun time.
That's good.
It's just, we're just doing our thing. Survive. Like, it's fun to just survive in that game because it can be really punishing at times.
It's very tense.
It's very tense. So yeah. Get into that extract. Got a couple challenges done. People give you tasks which then level up your character.
Right.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Cool.
What did you play this week?
So I played 3 games. I played Final Fantasy 14 because I'm fully in it now. I played The Division 2, game that we played when it released and then dropped off a cliff. So they announced a new expansion, and Destiny ain't doing it for me. So I might get that expansion. It comes out next month. It comes out before Doom.
Okay.
So maybe it'll be something I play before Doom. I don't know yet. We'll see. But the game's fun. The game is still very fun.
Yeah, I've dropped off on looter shooters. Really, I mean, Tarkov is a looter shooter, but in a different sense. It's not
a more casual looter shooter. Yeah.
The Destiny and like Division 2, it's just rinse and repeat for me.
Yep.
I've been through it all already. I'm tired with the motions. Nothing new is coming out of that scene right now.
Yes.
So,
other than that, I played Halo 1 on PC. I got into the flight.
You did.
Yep. The multiplayer servers were having a few hiccups, so I only played campaign. There are 4 missions available, I believe, at the time when I played, and it played really well.
How did it look? Pretty good?
Yeah, it looked really good. There was one visual hiccup that I had where textures were like wavy on the inside of one of the structures on the Silent Cartographer mission.
Okay.
But other than that, it played really well. I played with mouse and keyboard. As a matter of fact, I did not play with controller.
Oh,
yep.
That's a change for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I played Halo 1 on PC when it originally released, and I played with mouse and keyboard at that time too. Okay. So it's fine there. Now, for those who are listening to the show and don't know, there is an issue where, as of right now, you cannot zoom in with your pistol if you use mouse 2, use right click, because it's also mapped as a vehicle function. So go into your settings, change that, rebind it to something else. That way you can zoom in by right clicking like you normally do.
I'm assuming they've changed that already because that's an easy fix.
I don't think they did.
Well, like, it's probably not fixed in the flight, but
yeah. In the game itself.
In the game itself. Yeah.
But yeah, in the flight, if you're in, change that and you should be good to go. Yeah, I didn't have any issues with frame rates or anything like that. Everything played really smoothly. It's just, the multiplayer servers were down at the time when I tried to play multiplayer, so I wasn't able to. But yeah, I plan on giving another shot, and we'll see what happens. The other thing is, I didn't put this down. I also got accepted into the Project xCloud test.
Okay.
Because it's out now on iOS. So it's like they're only allowing a certain amount of people in, and it's only MCC that's available on there right now. I would not recommend playing MCC on that. The input lag is terrible.
Yeah.
It wasn't choppy at all. It was very smooth, which was great. But the input delay was terrible. Like, I mean, it was really, really, really bad. I played one multiplayer game, shame on me. And I felt so bad because I know we would have won if I wasn't playing on that. But we lost 50-49.
Oh, man.
And I was the last death.
Nice.
And I felt so bad. It was Halo 3 on Isolation, and I hate that map. But once I got semi-attuned to the input lag, I played better towards the tail end of the game. But it just didn't matter. And I felt really bad for my one teammate who carried basically us. But if I know if I was playing on my one, that we would have won easily.
Yeah.
But no, visual fidelity wise, it looked great.
Surprising.
Yes, it looked very, very good. I didn't have any stuttering or anything like that. That's me playing on my Wi-Fi. Yeah, I would not recommend playing on MCC on that unless they can fix that input delay, which I don't know because it's a stream platform. Who the fuck knows? That's what I played.
All right.
That's it. Will, it's time for some shout-outs. I want to give a happy birthday shout-out to Grim Brother 1, Maddie Rums,
Hey.
and Will, a.k.a. I am Mr. Mayhem, for the third time in the show.
Yes,
Happy birthday,
you.
Will. There it is. Look at you and your
You didn't have to.
HCS Pro Talk hat.
Yes.
I surprised you with. You're welcome. It's got your name on the back.
It does.
It does.
Fancy.
It's fancy indeed. Will, I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, my stomach is grumbling, man. Oh, man. That's it for the shouts. Community creations. Meme Saturday. That was yesterday. But nobody gives a shit about that. Halo memes every day. Reddit.com/r/Halo memes. Will introduce me to it. We're going to include it in every episode of the show. You know what I should just do? I should just get rid of the Meme Saturday link.
Because, yeah, why not? Just memes every day.
Because fuck them.
Getting mad.
Hey, don't get mad.
Get glad.
The Halo Community Spotlight by Snickerdoodle over on HaloWaypoint.com. Check it out. A lot of Valentine's Day themed items in there.
Yeah.
We have Vito's Lagtage, a Halo 5 lag and bug montage.
Ooh.
Ooh, indeed. And then we also have the Clips of the Week number 41 by High Tech Redneck. Make sure to check out all the links in the Google Doc of the show notes of the show. Justin states, shit, how did I miss that? Sorry, Will, happy birthday.
Thanks, Justin. I appreciate it.
Will, if I haven't said it before, I'm going to say it again. Happy birthday.
Plenty of time.
Hey, Will, can you do me a favor?
What's that? I know where you're going with this. Maybe.
No, you don't. You have no idea where I'm going with this. Plug the show.
You can find us on your favorite podcast services. Just search for HCS Pro Talk. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, and others as well. Leave us a review and let others know about the show.
Pocket Cast.
You can join the Discord, join the community discussions. You can join our Xbox Club or Spartan Company. Search for HCS Pro Talk on Halo Waypoint.
Or don't.
We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Esportspedia. Come find us on your favorite service.
And Mixer, but we don't promote that.
What are you doing?
Because we stream on this platform.
Yes, for those who don't know, the live video recording will be posted to YouTube after we're done recording here. Get it up as soon as possible. So if you don't catch the live show, you always can watch it a little bit later.
Justin asks, did you guys ever get my Spartan Company request? Checking now.
Josh?
Checking now.
And while you're checking that, also tell the fine folks what we have coming on the next episode.
On the next episode of HCS Pro Talk, we have an actual topic.
Do we?
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck it's going to be, but we're going to have one. And make sure you tune in live to be a part of the live discussion as well.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a great time. I can't wait. I'm excited to have a genuine topic. And Will already talked about it in the shoutouts, but if you have a suggestion for a topic for the show, please join the Discord if you haven't already and add it to the topic suggestions channel in our Discord. And who knows, maybe your topic will be chosen to be talked about on the show.
There we go.
Not Will's topic, but I'm just kidding.
Okay, fine. I see how it is.
And to answer Justin's question, if we got it, we did, and I just accepted it. So,
no, Justin, our next topic will not be sprint, and if it should be in Halo.
Hey, Will, question for you.
Yeah.
Should sprint be in Infinite? Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for episode 114 of HCS Pro Talk. I want to thank you very much for listening, and yeah, you can catch us next week here, same time, same place, same us. I mean, unless I die, in which case I won't be here. But
No, don't do that.
Don't die? Okay, I'll just make sure I just tell the whole world and every part of it that I don't have that I can't, that fuck, what am I trying to talk about right now? Yeah, I'll just tell the world not to kill me.
There you go.
Like, hey, can you wait a week? Like, just one. Just wait 1 week. I appreciate that. You can catch us next week. We're going to talk about some more Halo stuff. And also, oh my God. Oh, totally forgot. Tune in here. Same place, same time next week. Because, what?
There's so much going on next weekend.
Oh, yeah, you need to figure out what you're going to do with the hockey thing. Don't you? Don't you have a game next week?
Oh, yeah.
Sunday?
I'm just saying, we got Halo.
We do.
We got CDL.
We do.
Birthday party.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
That's on Saturday, though.
But it's all still going on.
It is. On the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
No, but seriously, what I'm getting at is we're doing a live watch along to Dreamhack Anaheim on Championship Sunday right here in the same space, live streamed on Twitch on this channel. So if you want to be part of the discussion as well, we're going to record the show. And then right after recording the show, we're just watching the tournament together.
Just rolling right into it.
Rolling right into it. So we're going to be right here with you guys. If you guys want to tune in as well, we're going to watch the tournament together. We're going to talk about the tournaments together. It's going to be a great time. Can't wait. I'm very excited. And I'm excited to see Tox win because that's going to happen. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for listening and or watching. We'll be back next week. Talk about more competitive Halo. Thank you very much. But until then, bye-bye.
All right.
That's it.
That's it for the show.
That's it.
That's what others we got.
Q&A time. If anybody has any questions for those who are tuning in, please go ahead and post them in the chat. We'll answer some questions before we get out of here for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week, realistically speaking. Well, actually, not for the rest of the week because we have the community play day on Friday. So.
Yeah.
Baby. And yes, Justin, no, we're not fucking. No.
Not talking about sprint.
I hate how that's become.
That's like the meme almost in Halo community now.
It's the de facto standard of what's talked about.
Yeah.
If they should have sprint. Fuck off. Why shouldn't it? Because it's not classic Halo. Well, what is? Come on.
We've gone through it many times.
We have. But that's not to say we can't go over it again for 14 more times, you know? I also want to, I know this isn't part of the actual show, but just for the sake of it, I want to give a shout out to Europa Halo as well, including us as one of the, kind of sponsors of the tournament that's going on right now. Us along with Noob Combo.
Yep.
It's fantastic. Yeah, I wonder. I seriously think that it's going to be Jimbo and Wonder Boy taking that tournament.
Very well could be.
I do. That's what I think it's going to be.
All right. Looks like we have no one posting in the chat.
Should we close it out?
Go ahead. Do it up.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in, watching live. We appreciate it. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place. And more Halo. Dreamhack. Stay tuned. I'm excited. It's been a while since we've had a Halo tournament, to say the least, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a great Sunday as well. Justin, thank you so much. Everybody else, have a great weekend. Rest of your weekend. Have a great week. We'll catch you Friday, community play date. But until then, peace out.